There is a part of office politics that nobody really talks about. Not in boardrooms, not in strategy meetings, not even in leadership books. Because it doesn't happen outside. It happens inside you. A few months ago, a senior manager walked into my office. Now, just by looking at him, you could tell that this wasn't someone who was new to struggle. Obviously, he was at a position where he would have seen things. He had already won many battles, good salary, consistent performance, respect in the organization, and yet something inside him was quietly collapsing. He sat down, paused, and then he said, "I think my workplace is becoming toxic." I asked him what happened, and he said, "A colleague presented my idea in the leadership meeting yesterday, and everyone applauded him for that. I had worked on this for months, and now the credit is his." And then he said something interesting. "I know this happens, but I can't stop thinking about it." And if you've ever been in a situation like that, you might already know what happens next. Our mind begins to replay again and again and again. You imagine conversations, you rehearse confrontations, you rewrite the past, and somewhere in that loop, you begin to feel powerless. It drains your energy. There's something that most people miss. Office politics doesn't damage your career first. It damages your nervous system first. The moment something like this happens, your brain doesn't see it as just work. It sees it as a threat to your identity, your status, your place in the group, in the organization, and without you even realizing it, your body tightens, your breath changes, your thoughts start racing. Not because you're weak, no, but because your system is trying to protect you. And unless you understand this inner storm, no strategy outside will ever truly work. There is a myth that most professionals carry, a very subtle one, and it sounds very logical. Office politics is all about strategy. But if you look closely, it survives on something much, much deeper: unregulated emotions. Fear, insecurity, jealousy, resentment. Because the moment emotions take over, reaction replaces clarity. And when reaction takes over, the game is already lost. So the real question is not, how do I win office politics? And rather the question should be, how do I stay centered and in balance when politics begins? Over years of working with professionals, a pattern becomes very much visible. People try to fix external situations while their internal state remains unstable. And that rarely works. So I began teaching something very simple, a framework, a 4-step framework. Not to control others, but to stabilize yourself. And I call it the calm framework. And you might already sense why that word matters. Because when your mind becomes calm, something interesting happens. The same situation begins to look different. Now let's try to understand this framework. C stands for catch the emotional trigger. The first moment politics begins is not in the meeting room. It is inside your nervous system. Someone interrupts you, ignores your contribution, takes your credit, and instantly your brain activates a threat response. There's a part in our brain, amygdala, that fires up. Stress chemicals are flooded into the system, and for a brief moment, your thinking brain goes offline. And in that moment, whatever you do next creates your outcome. Most people react, send some sort of an email in response, they'll start some sort of a gossip, either they'll withdraw or they'll begin to argue. But there's also an alternative plan, another option, a very small one, very subtle one, almost invisible. Pause. Yes, pause. Just for 60 seconds. Because the person who pauses has already stepped out of the emotional trap. The next in calm framework is A, that stands for allow regulation before any sort of reaction. Now this part sounds very simple, almost too simple, which is why most people ignore it. Before solving the situation, regulate the emotion. Because emotions are signals, they're not instructions, and you may notice whenever something triggers you, your breath automatically changes. Either it becomes shallow, held, interrupted, something. So instead of reacting, you do something different. You breathe, slow inhale, pause, and then a longer exhale. And as you do this, something shifts. Not on the outside, but inside. What happens is your nervous system settles. Your thinking brain becomes online again. It returns back. And suddenly you begin to see options. Options that were invisible just a few moments ago. And now, instead of reacting emotionally, you begin to observe strategically. Like standing at the shore, watching the waves. Instead of drowning in them, you're watching the waves come and go. The next step in the calm framework is L, that stands for learn the emotional drivers of other people. Now this is where things become interesting. Office politics is rarely logical. Every single time it is emotional. People compete because of the fear. They hoard information because of insecurity. They gossip because of status anxiety. And when you begin to see this, something within you shifts. You stop taking everything personally. Instead, you begin to see patterns. One person fears being invisible. Another person fears losing control. Another person feels being replaced. And when you can see these patterns in people, human behavior, you are no longer inside the game. Now you're observing the game. And that distance gives you the power. And the last step, the final shift is M, move strategically, not emotionally. Once your emotions settle, your thinking brain returns. Now you ask a very different question. Not why did this happen to me, but you start to ask what outcome do I want now? And that question is going to change everything. Because now you're not in the reaction mode. You're choosing, deliberately choosing. Let me show you how this plays out. That same manager who walked into my office, he was angry, frustrated, consumed. Initially, he wanted to retaliate, take the revenge, send emails, escalate, confront that person publicly. But instead, he paused. He regulated himself emotionally now. And then he asked one question to himself. What do I actually want? And the response was simple. Recognition, not revenge. So instead of attacking, he did something unexpected. He scheduled a calm meeting. And he said, I'm glad that the idea was appreciated. I've been developing it for a few months now. I would love to lead its implementation as well. No accusation, no drama, just clear statement, just clarity. And something interesting happened there. He was heard, he was trusted, and he was given the ownership and the responsibility of that project. And that project led to his promotion eventually after a few months. Same situation, different internal state, and that leads to a completely different outcome. Now, if you zoom out, you begin to see something deeper. Workplaces are not just systems of tasks. They are systems of emotions, status, recognition, belonging. And the professionals who understand this don't just survive politics, they navigate through it. Like a sailor who doesn't fight the ocean, but learns to read the waves. Because the real power is not controlling people. It is in stabilizing yourself. And when you do that, something subtle happens inside. You stop reacting to every trigger. You stop personalizing every action, everything that anybody says or does. You stop getting pulled into every emotional storm. And in that space, clarity emerges. You begin to choose your own responses every single time. You begin to see long-term outcomes. You begin to move with intention. And over time, people notice something. That in the moments of chaos, you remain steady. And that steadiness becomes your influence. Because in environments filled with noise and chaos, clarity always stands out. And in environments filled with reactivity, calm becomes authority. So the next time something happens at work, someone takes your credit, someone challenges you, someone pulls you into politics, notice the first thing, not them, yourself, your breath, your body, your thoughts. Because that moment is where the real game begins. And if you can master that moment, even slightly, even imperfectly, you begin to see something interesting. That the game around you has not changed, but your experience of it has. And from there, everything else starts to shift in your favor. You don't have to fight anymore. That's quite a calmer way to live, right?